if you could guess at the ROI, like the return on investment of having worked with us, I mean, 3x, 10x more.
So it's 10 times plus.
All right, so my name's Daniel. I'm the founder of Starloop, and I'm here with Philippe Richer of TLR Law, who's been a Starloop member with us since 2018. Philippe, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no, pleasure to be here, Dan. Thanks.
Philippe, so the first question I want to ask you is, at what point did you think, I need help with my reviews and my online reputation? I need help getting this problem solved.
I think the first review I received was from an unhappy client, and I gave him the advice that I had to give him. He just wasn't happy with it, and he left me a 3-star review. And I was I was really annoyed with that. I don't. To me, the 3-star review is the worst kind of review you can get. A 1-star, you got something to fight back with, but a 3-star, you can't really respond to it other than, well, I'm sorry that I was average for you. And then we got a few more reviews, and I started hearing and reading in the marketing literature about the reviews and the importance of it. So I knew then that I needed to get this figured out.
All right, understood. And what would you say, like, why did you decide to start working with Starloop? Like, what ultimately, like, what kicked you over the fence?
What convinced me to work with you, so I found you, and I can't remember the website that I might have put it in when we first, how did you hear about us? But I was reading a blog. It was a marketing blog. It mentioned you, or Starloop, and we had a couple of chats, and it really was just your approach to how you do this. I really like your the human touch that you brought to it, the concept of planting trees on behalf of people. I like that. It had a real, environmental world, social conscious kind of feel to it, and I like that.
And while being as specific as possible, like, what results did you achieve with respect to your business?
Yeah, so most of our marketing dollars are spent on Google AdWords for our specific legal services and Starloop. At first, we didn't get a lot of. It took a little while for it to ramp. I had a few reviews. I can't remember how many reviews, but it was under 10 for sure when we started with you, with that 3-star review that really annoyed me. But we slowly started building, and we were one of the first law firms in our market to do that. So we started getting away from everybody else. We were getting mostly 5-star reviews at that point. We still are getting really good reviews, but at that point, mostly 5-star reviews that started bringing up our average. And then we started keeping better track of where the new clients were coming from. So we keep an eye on that. And we ask them when they come into the office. And more now where people are saying, oh, you're getting really good reviews on Google or on the internet. So we know that that's a direct result of our partnership with you.
Interesting. So are you saying that as part of the client intake process, there's some kind of surveying that's going on, and what are people saying as the reason as having chosen you?
Yeah, so we have on the client intake, and we make I've trained my staff at the front to make sure that if the people don't actually fill it out, we ask them, so we fill it out. Because I want to know where my marketing dollars are going and what kind of return on investment we're getting on that. Now, if somebody's 60 years old and we saw you on the internet, sometimes we don't get much more than that. So we know it's either Starloop or Google. But we've had a number of people, especially more recently, and I say, within the last 6 months, saying that you get really good or excellent reviews on Google. I think we're sitting at 4.8, 4.7 right now on there, which is fine. I don't want to be a 5. As much as we want to give a good service to people, I know sometimes we don't. People do fall through the cracks from time to time. And when we get bad reviews or mediocre reviews, at times we deserve them. So, but it helps us. It helps us figure out what we did wrong, and we get a chance to review it. So, but yes, we do ask specifically, and I've had more and more people say specifically referencing the Google reviews.
If you could guess at the ROI, like the return on investment of having worked with us, I mean, 3x, 10x more. Like, how would you calculate this too if you had to? Sorry.
Right. So I was thinking about that because this was a question I knew you were going to ask me. Because we keep track of our when people tell us where they came from, I could do a very narrow search and say, okay, everybody who said they came to us because of our reviews, then that would be a client specifically from that. Now, I know that that would be narrow and an underrepresentation of the actual people. But even if you just did that, I would say that's 10 times. So it's 10 times plus.
All right. So 10x conservatively.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. In building the online reputation and getting the reviews and that translating into helping the practice grow. I mean, did your personal life improve? Are you playing more golf? Do you have more family time? Like what happened on that side?
Yeah, so what has happened is it's helped me grow the firm, and in growing the firm, I've been able to move myself out of production on a day-to-day basis into more of a managerial position. I still do production. We're a small firm, 2 lawyers, 2 paralegals, legal assistant, and then some support staff. So we're not huge, but I still have to do some work. But it's allowed me to change my position in the company, which has freed up some time for me. So I've lifestyle was an important aspect when I first started in the location I'm in now. I was working 10-hour days. I was meeting clients all day long. I was doing human resources. I was doing marketing. I was doing everything. So it was a real challenge. And this has just helped me bring people in, and it freed up some time. Absolutely. My marketing strategy was definitely helped me push me into that direction.
I guess, my next question is, why do you think a lawyer should start working with us if they're thinking about it?
Well, if they're in my market, I don't think they should. If they're in a different market, I think my experience with you has been great. As I said earlier, I love your approach. You bring a very human approach. It's not all about the numbers, although it is about the numbers because that's what marketing is about. But it's a better philosophy about that you approach it with. I like that social conscious, thoughtful. How do we encourage people to do something, and how do we benefit something else at the same time, like the planting trees type situation. So it just all fits really nicely together. It fits nicely with our image. We're trying to be the unlawyer. We don't want to be the stuffy shirts. We don't want to have the marble floors. We want people to feel comfortable. And this just all kind of plays into that. So we're kind of for the people firm, and that's our clientele, our target market, and it works really well for us.
All right. And Philippe, last question. Why do you think a lawyer who's listening should take action right now?
Because I think you need to take action right now, because if you don't have a lot of reviews, you've got about a month or 2 or 3 or 4 before you start seeing the actual results. I mean, you may get some people at the beginning, but if you have 4 3-star reviews and you add 1 a 5-star review and a second 5-star review, you're not going to get a ton of calls right away. So there's a critical mass that you need to build. And I can't really tell you what that critical mass is, but once you hit it, you'll know, because you'll start getting people saying, "Oh, you've got great reviews." And the other thing, Dano, now that I think of it, and I have noticed this and I attribute it back to the reviews, it adds credibility. So we have people, when they come in the door, they kind of feel like they already know us. And they talk to us differently than they did prior to the online reputation. And it's interesting how they do that. It warms them up, if you want to use the marketing term to say that. They come in, they're happier, they're more open right away. There's less of a resistance that we need to get over to convince them to deal with us.
Interesting.
That's kind of pre-done.
Is it almost like the reviews are driving like a better qualified lead who's kind of in a way to a certain extent pre-sold?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, it knocks down that initial barrier that people have when they go into a situation, into an environment where they're not familiar with the people. Okay. Somewhere along that scale are the Starloop people. They're the people that take a look at the reviews. It breaks down some of the barriers, and then by the time they come into our office, they already trust us.
Beautiful.